Hello.
Yeah, well, as soon as you've got your EIN for your estate, okay, and see that took control of the independent treasury trust fund under your Social Security number. You now brought that person into a dead scenario. Okay, now you have control over him. You got a UCC, and you get a UCC in place to where you claimed that as you are the private banker, but you have to also have your affidavit in place of your correct name. Then you do the Form 56, and then Form 56 for that EIN number. And the Form 56 makes you can be the drawer against that account. The Form 56F makes you the banker for that account. That's why if you look at that International Bill of Exchange on page 2, you would be able to sign as the drawer because of the Form 56, and then as the banker because of the Form 56F. That's why those two forms are there.
Okay, I got that.
Okay, and then you do the same thing for your foreign grantor trust, which is assigned to the Independent Treasury Special Fund account. And then we may have to run these back through a court again, that basically is going to be in the private. We had, in several cases, sitting in the court as a private court. There was no other attorneys in those courts and we wanted them. We fired the attorneys out of there. But the court did not have jurisdiction because we kept claiming to be a fiction by using the wrong name. So they had to dismiss it.
So which one is the actual executor as far as once it crosses their desk? Is it the United States Postmaster? Is it the Church of Rome? Or is it, the state where you were born postmaster? Who is going to be that exact?
The Church of Rome has a Cesta K trust that they were able to use access our funds. Okay, so that's a separate account. The United States Capital Postal Treasury Department, that is where you have your U.S. citizenship anchored. Hello?
Got it.
Yes. See, they have identified these things as ships. Citizenship. Why didn't they just say United States citizen? No, they have to call it citizenship because it's a vessel, a financial vessel. Now, that financial vessel reverts back to the Constitution, Section 1, Chapter 5, right there talking about vessels. You read those 40 sections, and you should get an understanding about what is taking place. And you can come in to that Secretary of State or to that Treasurer in that Capital Postal Treasury Department and demand a manifest of your account. I want a manifest of all the cargo that's on this vessel. And that's per Section 10. Section 11, they have to sign that under oath.
Okay, once you get
go ahead.
Once you get your everything in order, all your paperwork in order, and it's all sent in, and it's on everyone's desk. What kind of response are we going to get back from them? Some kind of confirmation or something because I still haven't got confirmation that the Treasury Department, when I sent my first 56 form in, it's only one department that hadn't responded back. Everyone else is, not necessarily respond back, but as far as I received the confirmation from the certified mail that they got the letter, all but one, and that's the one in Washington. I believe it was not Washington D.C. Here it is on the back.
If they're going to try and drag their feet, okay, and basically we're going to try and deny that this is there, but it's got to be there, okay, or else this whole country would have collapsed a long time ago of the monetary system that's out here, okay? And that's why I try to tell people, you need to know and understand how the monetary system works, and then you can basically come after these people. Now, we will go in there and we will put this in, and we call and we use the Constitution. That's what they're under. We stand over the Constitution as we the people. But you have to have your affidavit done, okay, of your name, correct name, so you're not being associated with the false entity. And then you come in and you put your documents in. Now, if they do not comply with that, you can file charges into the federal court against them. You can also now submit the 3949A into the CID using your affidavit and your correct name. Now they have to answer those 3949As. See, before we were making a claim as the fiction using the wrong name. That's just like, I think on James Madison show tomorrow night, they're supposed to be talking about habeas corpus. Well, some habeas corpuses work, most of them don't, because you're trying to free the fiction. You can't free the fiction. It's the living man that's in there. That's who you've got to free. And you're coming in trying to free a fiction, a false name.
Does it look like when we get the right stuff in those offices that we're actually going to have to struggle with them to get them to react and take them to court to do that?
We may have to send something up to the state Supreme Court in a private capacity, also to the federal district court. We go back to the court of claims. You do not use their forms, though. You just submit the paperwork into the clerk of the court and say that this is to be directed to that chief judge over that court.
This is a case where we make up our own forms, then.
You don't make up any form whatsoever. You just put it down in a letter format.
Okay.
You attach a copy, just like you're going to address a letter to the Secretary of State. You always put a cover letter with everything you do.
Okay, I should have said a memorandum rather than a form.
Yeah. A demand letter.
Yes.
Because you're demanding justice. And only the living can demand justice and claim anything. And see, that's what they've got us playing like a dead entity.
Let me tell you a little secret that I found out. Like with those 56s or your birth certificate or anything that you're gonna, and which can delay time. And I don't know the particular law, but if you are submitting in at 56, and if you're in a town that has the IRS district office, go to have whatever forms that you want to submit or whatever letter that you want to submit. go into the IRS and have them stamp the letter, the document, whatever documents that you want to use, have them stamp those. And we get copies, have copies. Those will automatically go into whatever branch that needs to be almost overnight. That can cut down on a lot of time. This is something that I found out even with when I put in my birth certificate. When I put in the 56, it was in their hands within days, and they couldn't deny it, and you had proof that they got it.
I've heard that before too, Patrick. Could we add to that? You said in your one of your documents today that we should be sending the 56 and 56F to Austin. And
yes.
So we should. Would it be a possibility to go into the local IRS, have the form stamped, and direct them to send it to Austin?
Yeah, if you've got the capability to go to the local office, yeah.
Okay.
That's always advisable to take them right down to the local office and always get them time stamped. That's just like going into the court. You take your documents in, and you basically get it time stamped into that court document.
Okay.
Yeah, if you got a court case, you better be putting that affidavit of the living into that court case. And then, see, you start getting that in there to where you're coming in as the living, okay? Now, the attorneys, if there's something in there, they can't be there. The judge will probably shut down that court case.
Well, I'm going to get
this. Don't put that into the case. They may just try and override you.
Actually, I have a hearing on Wednesday. I'm going to do that. See what happens. It's on
what's it on?
A property tax foreclosure demand.
Hey, Pat. You know what I'm thinking, don't you?
What's that?
That has he done his birth certificate?
Well, either that or he takes that mortgage in and basically that tax and turns around and sends that off to the Secretary of State saying this is the wrong bank. You sent this to my private bank, and this should be going to the state citizenship bank.
But see, also, you know that way that you talking about has the thing stamped on the front of it and on the back. If you were the executor over this, he would submit that in with his other documents, with his Form 56 and 56F, an affidavit, and he's not the corporate John Doe, but the real John Doe, and he's the executor. They can't file anything against the executor.
Yeah.
Over that property.
Yeah, that'd probably work too. There's several different options here. If you guys just sort of think about these, but try and keep within the ball game, okay, in the ballpark. A lot of these people they want to play the ball game, but they're over playing on a damn football field when they're supposed to be playing baseball. See, that's the damn mentality of some of these patriots out here. They want to argue code of law when they should be studying the damn Constitution. Because our remedy and protections are in the enacted laws in the Constitution. You're not going to get any protection in the codes of law. We've already proven all that.
Yes, indeed.
So would it be enough just to do because I only have 24 hours in which to get ready, and I know I can get the affidavit out. I have the EIN. I guess I could do the 56s because that gives me the authority then to tell them to send it to the state bank, the state postmaster. But would it be enough just to start with the false name affidavit and basically get them to hang up the case with that, and then take care of the payout a few days later?
Yeah, you should have had that affidavit out here by now.
Okay.
What's the holdup here? I've had affidavit out there for several weeks now.
I know. I've had all kinds of hell breaking loose on me, and I'm just getting around to it.
Yeah, well, basically, you need to set your priorities.
Yep.
That's what all these people need to do. Is hell's gonna break loose, but you gotta set your priorities on what you really need to get done.
Okay.
Because hell's always going to be breaking loose.
Well, I've been pretty quiet for a while, but yes, okay, I will do that tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question for you, Patrick. On the when you get your foreign grantors trust, I remember. Well, I don't remember too much about it, but back a while ago, I read something about 98 series EIN numbers as far as being tax exempt. Is that relevant anymore?
Yes.
In other words, should our foreign grantors trust be a 98 series EIN number?
Yes. It's always been tax exempt. See, it's like a checking account. You've got two accounts as an independent treasury account. That was set up in the Treasury Department back in 1920. The funds were not put there until 1933, and the two accounts, one was a trust fund, the other was called a special fund. Now, you could have put the title of savings account on the trust fund and checking account on the special fund, because that's really what they are. Okay? Now, when you put money into your checking account, you don't owe taxes on that. That's your money. Okay? Now, the only one that needs to pay taxes on is the usury one, which is the savings account. So the foreign grantor trust EIN is being applied to the special fund or the checking account in the Treasury. And then the estate EIN, when you kill the Social Security person, now it goes into an estate and it's supposed to be probated in that estate. And that's the one that we really need to sort of run back through the court, the banking administrators, to probate that account. So, yes, we're going to have to go back to the courts again. But we will come back into the court in the right way, either the district court or the federal district court, and basically order the probating. And it could either be to the Court of Claims, to the United States Court of International Trade, because we are a free trader in this country. If we use just barter, they cannot tax it. That's the problem. They want the taxes, the fraudulent taxes and the usury, because if we take the money away from them, they're going to shut down. And the people there in the government, they don't know how to exist without us giving the shit to them. They don't know they've got an account out here. They've got mortgages. They're just as bad off as you are in a lot of cases.
So this probate stuff that you were doing a few months ago, we're still going to be coming back to that.
Yes, but we'll come back to it using the right name.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. See, that was the only problem that we were missing. And everything I've done, and several of the other people out here have done, we've gone to the right courts. We've been in there in the right capacity, but we did not have the right name. That was the key thing, because only when you use your Christian name, or basically your inheritance name of family first, then the individual, and then the additional clarifier, which would be your middle name. Say like there's 100 Devine Patricks out there, then you would want to stipulate which one is which. Sort of like George Foreman with all these little Georges.
Any more questions?
Come on, there's more questions out there. Come on, people.
Okay, the Philadelphia IRS. This is what I got updated on with that place today. They, when I called in to get my foreign grantor's trust EIN, and I asked for the address, the mailing address, and they gave me 600 Arch Street, ARCH Street, Philadelphia, PA 19106 is the zip code. Anybody updated on that? Know what's going on with that? Is that the new international facility, or is it officially moved to Cincinnati?
Well, that's what we're not really sure. Out of there, I know there is a couple other offices there in Philadelphia for the IRS. Within that area, I think there was about 10 of them that I came up with before. But from what we've heard, for the EINs and everything, it's going to be moved down. Most of them are now pretty much down in Cincinnati. So if you have any corrections to your SS4 for your foreign grantor, to where you need to change the executor or something like that, I would fax it into Cincinnati. Now, I posted a fax number up there on the site for quite a few of the different internal revenue service places. And you got to think about this. Internal revenue service. Who is the internal? We, the people, are the internal component of the country.
Mm.
And then revenue, our revenue. And then they're supposed to supply a service to us because we stand over them. Now, they've got the fraudulent one out there trying to siphon off the taxes from us under the frauds of the codes. Title 18, USC. A total fraudulent document. Trying to get into our private bank to pay their damn bills. And you have to be very careful of using any of their forms. I mean, really. You have to look at them very carefully. There are very few out here that we need to utilize. 456 and the 56S. Yes. The W8. W8DN, IMY, no. They're tricksters. Okay? 1040s, you don't do any of those. You don't have to do any of these damn tax forms. Because when was the last time you ever got a manifest of the damn account that basically your account is holding or is liable for? Never.
That would seem to be the first thing we would want to do once we make contact with the postmaster is ask for an inventory of the account, the manifest.
You can send it right into the Secretary or the treasurer of the state, you can send it into the secretary of the state, and basically place them both on notice. I want a copy of the Patrick Devine citizenship, the cargo on board that vessel.
Right.
You either give it to me, or I will file charges against you under that Constitution. The reference the damn law.
Right.
Because most of these people don't know the damn law. They're going by the codes.
Yes. Well, I read Section 5, First Book of Statutes, and I got to read it again.
Yeah. There's a lot of heavy stuff in there, especially
Yeah.
like mortgage, mortgagee, mortgagor on board a vessel. Who's the owner? And basically, what rights do you have in there? When does it have to be forfeited? And who really is it being forfeited to?
Where is that found, Patrick?
That's in the first volume of the Statutes at Large, Volume 1, Session 1, and then it's Chapter 5.
Thank you.
In 1789.
Yeah. And all these laws, basically setting up the Treasury and the judicial system. And I think that was Chapter 12, talking about the judicial system. And so you study that. That is what the laws that you really need to know. All this other is garbage.
You have to know the entire statutes at large, or just those particular chapters?
Well, you should, do a search on them, okay? When you open them up in a PDF, do a word search on them. You don't have to read the whole damn deal, but you find out, I want to know about insolvency. Well, basically, you pull up the first volume of Statutes at Large, and basically, if you were insolvent as a debtor, one of we the people of the country, and in this country there's never supposed to be any debtors' prisons out here. Back then, and all the way up until 1933, you turned to the Secretary of the Treasury and you petitioned him to pay the bill, the debt.
And that's the state secretary, correct?
That was the United States Secretary of the Treasury. Okay? That was before the 14th Amendment in 1868. And the postal system that came into this country, the postal banking system that came into the country, the Jezebel or the jewelry or the Jew banking system, that's why it's called postal system, came in 1871. They were out to destroy this country. And they've done a pretty damn good job of it by just deceiving the people. And the churches, all the religions out here had a very marketable hand in that portrayal of getting you to operate under the wrong name.
Quite
To
the
make
slave
a lawful claim, you always had to come in by your clan name, then the individual, and then a additional identifier if need be.
Well, I have a question, if I can ask you, Patrick. I had sent the question over. This is Cynthia, by the way. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah.
I sent the question over to, I thought it was the group, to Tom through the group, but maybe Tom only got it. It's regarding the situation. I'm the one that had the question about the W-8 ban and the other form there. So I'm much clearer about the fact that it's just they're not the ones to work with at this point through hearing what you're saying and going to the site and listening to some other things. But I have a situation in which I had a writ of possession that was issued on because of a foreclosure that had taken place at my home property, and the writ of possession was issued, and the sheriffs and police came and removed me from my home. And that was on May 30th. I haven't done anything since then, and I've just come to this website and to you over the past really 2 weeks, I think at the most, maybe a week now. However, come to find out and I had put in all kinds of court pleadings, never I did it in my living capacity through, stating and sent things off to all the officials in the United States, directly relating to the fact that I am not a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. And so the courts had this, the governor, the Secretary of State, pretty much everybody in the country in their capacity have received my documents. However, the court pretty much chose to ignore it because I said I'm not the trustee, and I appointed them the trustee, the judge, the clerk of court, the attorney, all this stuff for them to set off and settle the estate and bring it back to solvency and honor. But none of that took place. So in any event, come to find out, when the foreclosure deed was filed, they referenced only a part of the property. The original mortgage was on my house in 15 acres, but I also owned adjacent land to that of 22 acres. Then, a few years ago, I sold 4 of that 22-acre parcel, which I had no mortgage, owned outright, to a friend of mine, and I moved the remaining 18 acres over to my house because it was, contingent to the property. So I just moved it to my other property, which had the mortgage on it. Well, anyhow, they filed the foreclosure deed, and the attorney did the affidavit saying the docs were fine and certified all that and everything. And they never looked into the records to find out that that additional 18 acres, known as Parcel A, was now on this land. And they foreclosed and did the foreclosure deed only mentioning the original mortgaged property, which, thank God, in a way, I was glad that they didn't claim the whole thing. So they did not claim it, but consequently it created in the town called a non-conforming lot. So now I have the situation that I want to protect my 18 acres that nobody has a lien on, but it's kind of attached over here, and I have this foreclosure deed that is defective, as the town tells me. It's an illegal defective foreclosure deed, because it leaves a lot that's not recognized, this Parcel A. So I'm trying to figure out what should I do now as far as get things into the court to say that the deed is an illegal defective deed, through maybe a quiet title action to secure the Parcel A, and put these documents in with some of it. That was that's kind of the immediate situation I'm in right now. So I don't know if you have any feedback on that.
Okay. Yes. You need to do a couple UCC ones. Okay. You come in as the secured party using your correct name. Okay.
Yep.
Family name as first is last is first and first is last.
Right. I got it. Yep.
Okay. So you do a UCC as the secured party, and you place a banker lien against that. You are a private banker. So you're placing a banker's lien against that property.
Okay.
Now, if they want to come and take that property away, they have to settle the lien that you have against that property.
Even though they already did it?
Yeah, you can come back and place a lien on any property out there.
Oh, I see.
Yes. See, you went over here and basically you worked for somebody. Okay? They didn't pay you. What do? You go file a UCC, you place a mechanic's lien or a banker's lien using the UCC, claim that they are a debtor to you. They owe you that much money. That's what the UCC has done. And see, these bankers and everything do a lot of these UCCs in the background, but they will never bring these UCCs in to the court.
Yep.
You want to find out about how some of this stuff operates? Go into the bankruptcy website for the District of Columbia and go through their module training session that they have. Very informative.
Okay.
Wasn't it, Bill?
Oh, yes.
Training module.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll open up your eyes to looking at some of these things with a different outlook. But you place a lien. I mean, the only way you can... I was in... basically, they picked up and confiscated my truck back last year. Well, they came in there and said, well, there's no lien on this vehicle. I thought about that. I said, you're right. There is no lien. I haven't got a lien on it. I need to place my lien on that pickup. Then I have the preferred lien over that pickup. So I went out and basically did a hurry-up UCC and placed it on there for about $40,000. Say, okay, now mess with me. Of course, they did another time after that, but basically I keep learning every time that happens. But now I've got them because now they can't prove that I'm that picture.
So I should do the affidavit of the living woman, even though I put all my paperwork in, claiming my living woman divine spirithood. But none of it, I mean, it went in. It's in the file. I've seen it in their court files. But they totally, and I understand that they can't, there's no parity between the living and a fiction. So, in a way, I never went into court because I kept I sent in a declaration, I sent in a notice of demand, all kinds of things.
Yeah, but you were always coming in as the fiction. A false registry person.
Right.
You were using the wrong name. So you could not make a valid claim.
Right.
And see, you go back into the books of Moses and see the Moses laws are supposed to be the laws that are in effect until the end times. We're not quite to the end times yet, so they're still in effect.
Cynthia,
Jesus came and he said, I do not come to change the laws. I only come to basically clarify them to the public here, to show you the way and the path out of the system.
Right. Yeah, because I've tried, I've worked to avoid the courts, which is why I've put things into them. But obviously, they've nevertheless, and I didn't do it right because of this, the affidavit of the name. So I will definitely. So what I should go in with, maybe, or send in, is the UCC 1 plus the affidavit of living status.
Yeah, basically say, okay, there it is. I've got a claim of $400,000 against that property.
Yeah.
Now, you settle with me first before. And see, that's what, tell them what happened with you, Bill. Give them a first-hand information.
Yeah. The best way, like I initially, they had me basically take my house, and the thing about it, I didn't realize this is what the attorney talked to me and said. The attorney for the mortgage company said, well, I'm a trustee, but it didn't hit me until later. But guess what I did? And this was about a year and a half later, even though I didn't move out of my house. But at the same token, what I turned around and did was send in an executive letter saying that my estate was being harmed and that they did not have no authority to take over my estate. So the trustee of the mortgage company said that the trustee in which they had no authority. So you have authority over this.
But what did you do? What did you do before that, Bill? You placed a UCC.
I put a UCC on the property.
Yes,
about
a year or so before.
That's right. So, you know, and then plus the other thing is those seals, the seals that Patrick said that we should get. Let me tell you something. The seals work. They work. They will back them off of you. So if you can get a seal, by all means, get the seal the way he says it, because that will back them off. They realize that you control the court.
Yeah, you emboss. You sign and emboss your items. You don't use a public notary, okay? You use a public notary, and you're getting into the public world, okay?
So do you use your thumbprint, Patrick?
You use your right and left index fingers. That is your two witnesses, because you are now marking your boundary.
That's right.
And
so
we
even the military does
my right and left index finger.
Even the military does that on their ID cards. They have your right and left index fingers on there.
And we do this on the false name affidavit, too.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Cynthia,
you do it on your correct name affidavit.
yeah, correct name. Right.
Okay.
Cynthia,
your affidavit for a false name. You want
I know. Well, it's an
name.
affidavit that I've been using a false name, but affidavit of correct name is a better way of stating it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cynthia, your question arrived in my email about 3 minutes before the show, and actually I get on this about 15 minutes early and don't bother email. So.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought I had sent it to everyone, Tom.
No, it came just to me, which I don't mind. As I mentioned before, during the week, I would prefer that people ask their questions on the group so we all get a chance to look at it and answer it. But over the weekend, if you want to do it for the show, you can send them to me directly, and then I'll prepare them. Now, yours was quite long, and I probably would have shortened it quite a bit.
Oh, I understand totally.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, did you understand what I was saying there? You just need to go in and get that UCC and file it online, okay?
Okay.
It is strongly recommended to do these online if you can.
Okay.
Okay? Go get a debit card or whatever. And Wisconsin, I know, is about $10. Washington State, I think, is $11. California, I think one of the guys said they're about $5 or $6. Texas,
Yeah, I've never
I
done
think
one
they
before,
were
but
$10.
I think that I have to put it in as my family name first, then my given name, and then I'm listing that set as the secured party.
Yes, that is the secured party.
Right.
Yes.
Now,
and
Patrick,
you list the property. You list the property or the corporation person that owns that property, and then identify the property that your fictional person is claiming.
Right. So the fictional name goes as the person who owns it. I'm just the secured
Well, that
party.
would be the debtor. That would be the debtor.
Okay, and that's the all-cap name.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Patrick, does Wisconsin allow you to give them completed PDFs, or do you have to fill out their online form?
You fill out their online form.
Same thing with Washington.
Yeah. Let's see. Washington uses pretty much the format of the UCC-1, to where Wisconsin takes the information, but they do not have it hard-lined like the PDF UCC-1 is.
Okay. Well, Washington busted up into 4 or 5 smaller screens, and it's not always obvious which field on the UCC form goes into the screen. Though I figured it out.
You've got to basically fill out a UCC1 PDF ahead of time, and then you just sort of cut and paste into the others.
Right. Now, the only thing I found unusual about Washington is the miscellaneous field. They only allow 250 characters, so we can't do the longer things that you were doing.
If you stay away from the miscellaneous and just put it all in the collateral box, it should carry over onto a third page.
Right. And when you file in Washington, then you need to do a search for that UCC right away, and then you can get a PDF of it to download so that you have a PDF version of what you've just put in online.
Yes, South Carolina about the same way. You almost have to do the same way with South Carolina.
Yeah. I think Texas is not the same way. I think they use the form, UCC form. Wisconsin, theirs is different, but basically it's still a UCC1. So
Washington, I believe Washington will allow you to send in a completed PDF form, but they charge $26 for it.
Yeah.
Really?
And it all depends on how fast you want it.
Yeah.
The faster the better, I feel.
That's true, especially in the situation I'm in.
Okay, any other questions out there?
Any more questions, guys? Okay, I had a problem on this call in that I dropped out for about 10 minutes and came back in. So, well, Patrick, when I have the recorded call, there will be about a 10-minute gap on it.
Okay.
It'll be in two sections, where probably the last 5 minutes. I don't know whether the audio may continue from the call, but probably not. So there will be a gap in there. Okay, well, I think this was a good call. I like it. That we had basically an hour of good questions. I like the short, compact calls where we get a lot done.
Well, let me say one other clarifying thing here. There's people out here that have been running into problems and trying to get an EIN for your Social Security person. They've been getting runarounds from the IRS personnel in there. If you feel like you're really getting a hard runaround, tell the person you want to speak to their supervisor, that you basically do not think that you can make a connection with this person and that you need to talk to their supervisor. Okay. Try and go up the line, because the higher up you get, the more clarifying information that people might know about what you're wanting to have done. Okay? So don't be afraid to say, hey, I can't communicate with you. I need to talk to your supervisor. Okay?
Yeah,
and the other thing is, on the UCC or the EIN for the estate, if you've not used your Social Security account for, say, like 10 years, they just may have already assigned an EIN to that Social Security account. So if they balk at giving you one, turn around and ask them, is there one already assigned to that Social Security number? Learn to ask different questions.
Mm-hmm.
You might find the answer you're really looking for.
Now, the one attached to Social Security, that's the foreign grantor trust, right?
No, the one that's attached to the Social Security is the estate.
Oh, okay. I thought that was birth certificate.
No, the birth certificate is the foreign grantor special fund account.
Oh, okay. I got them mixed up.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, speaking of that, I got another question for you. Like, when I was on the phone talking with one of the IRS agents today trying to get my EIN for, with the SS4 process, she really got agitated when it got to the fiduciary part, where the person responsible actually is what the way she referred to it as, the person responsible, and she wouldn't allow it. She said she couldn't process it because it didn't match up legally in their system, as if she needed both the person, the individual, the fictitious entity Social Security number, as well as a different Social Security number for the fiduciary.
Right.
But she referred to it
you
as,
come in and put down your lawful name, okay, using your lawful name as family name first, then your given name, comma, your given name, comma, your middle name, that, and you are the executor over that, and basically, and she still gives you a runaround, then you need to go to the supervisor.
Okay. Because at that point, she started asking me questions like, where did you get this information from, stuff like that. And at that point, I just, told her I'll take another route and disconnected with her and took another route.
Well, just tell her. Some shithead out in the state of Iowa is putting this shit out. Send him to me.
I got it from the Devine Patrick.
Yeah.
I understand, and I have to see where I found it written down, that by the IRS laws, for the SS4, Social Security numbers are not required. They're not supposed to ask you for that.
Yeah, in a lot of cases,
right,
they don't need to
kept
have
using
anything.
the term. She kept using the term. What was the term she kept using? She wouldn't say fiduciary or grantor. She said
the title on the form is responsible party.
Responsible party. That's what she kept saying. Responsible party. And she was telling me that the responsible party had to have a legal name, and I'm trying to tell her that this is my legal name.
This is the responsible party. I'm the executor.
Right. I'm trying to explain it to her, but she's wanting a Social Security number, so I was like, okay. And then she started asking questions, and so I was like, okay, I see what's up.
Let me talk to your supervisor, time.
Yeah.
Well, next time I have a run-in like that, I know what to do now.
Right.
Yeah, you always go up the line, basically. And see, I got my EIN by calling up Atlanta, Georgia, and chewing them out, saying I'm getting sick and tired of receiving bills from you guys for the fictional person, all capital name person. I'm tired of this shit. And I ranted and raved for about 5 minutes or so. This woman then, basically, she passed me up to her supervisor, and so I ranted and raved with that one. She passed me up to this other guy, and basically I talked to him for about 15 minutes, and he said, okay, I'll take care of this. And he got a hold of Cincinnati, and they sent me the estate EIN 61 series number for that Social Security person.
I've always
used
the series number.
Coming in.
I've always used that. Let me talk to your manager routine with companies. And, in fact, I never got into an argument because if I was asking tough questions, they were happy to pass me upstairs. I've never thought of using it with the government, and it really is it's a very good idea.
Yeah, because, see, everything out here is so compartmentalized, and you're arguing at the wrong compartment.
Right. People at the bottom aren't supposed to know all this stuff.
Yeah. You stay down there in the bottom compartments, and if the ship goes down, you may not be able to get up to the top compartment to get off board before the ship goes under. You always want to work your way up to the top.
Good.
Hey, Patrick, on the EIN series numbers, you mentioned they gave you a 60. What was it? A 60 or 61 series number EIN?
61 series EIN. But some people got a 38. Some people got a 27. My dad, when he died, he was given a 27 series EIN. So basically, as long as it says estate or trust, just check and see whether it's if they say it, that's a foreign grantor trust number, and then utilize it as, okay?
All right.
You're utilizing it against a special fund account.
Well, when I got asked for a foreign grantor trust at Philadelphia, they gave me, I forget what it was, a 68 number or something like that. And at your advice, I called them back and asked them, is this a foreign grantor trust? And they said no, that you've got to contact some department and have in writing and have them sort it out.
Right. The tax exempt form. He referred to Form 557, I believe it is, or it's a manual or instruction manual 557. Because what I was going to do, I was going to fill out a Form 56 for it with my correct name and status on it, along with the letter, in writing, telling them, since that was what he instructed, in the event that they won't allow me to use it as a foreign grantor's trust. So that was that's just a little backup thing.
Okay.
That the operator who was helping me get the number, he confirmed to me that that's what it was. But just in case, here, take this, check this information out, and
or else basically go out to Ogden, Utah, or whatever, Cincinnati, and do the 3520 and 3520A and put that number in and see what the hell happens.
Say that again?
See,
what did you just say, Patrick?
Initially, people were supposed to fill out a 3520 and a 3520A. See, nobody ever reads the damn instructions on these damn forms, but yet they filled out the 1040 forms, the Schedule B forms, and everything else. But they never read the damn document. Well, on there, it talked about a foreign grantor trust and to file a 3520 and a 3520A. It also talked about and this is where that first person on the call there tonight might also look into that TDF 9022.1 document that goes into the Treasury Department in Detroit, Michigan, for her bank account. Put it under the protection of the IRS.
The 9022.1 is an IRS form, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Treasury form that goes into the Treasury Department there in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
I think I've got a copy of that posted up there somewhere.
I'll
I've
search
had it up there before.
I'll search. I have a lot of your stuff, and I download it to my computer so I can use the DOS search function to find things.
Uh-huh. Okay, any other questions? I think I tried to hit the oddity ones there to bring them back in the light, so that if you do have any problems, ask them for their help. Okay?
Yes.
They're supposed to be serving us.
And occasionally you run into one who is very helpful.
Okay?
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Okay. Nobody else has questions? We're off.
We're off.
Talk to you later.
Thank you. See you next week.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.